hit another tab. That's what I want you guys to do. Hit another tab right now on your computer if you're at one and look up Jack Parsons of NASA. Okay? I mean, just on his Wikipedia, because this stuff is hiding in plain sight. Figure out what religion it was that he practiced. It was Aleister Crowley's religion, a man deemed the most wicked man in the world when he was alive. He established a religion known as Thelema. They practiced sexual rituals to summon demons. He was friends with the elites. He was friends, by the way. This is a fact. He got kicked out of Italy by Mussolini after he threw a satanic sexual ritual. Mussolini, you can look this up. Go. I'll give you guys time. Go to Google right now. Google Aleister Crowley and Mussolini.
Because now I know about Aleister Crowley because I remember like I said, one of my favorite shows growing up was Supernatural. And Aleister Crowley, they had a character called Aleister Crowley in Supernatural. And this dude was damn near like leader of the demons. Yeah. And I remember somebody told me that, oh, well, it actually has historical context. I'm like, historical context? What? There was a nigga actually named Aleister Crowley? Yes, there was. And he was a Satanist. And he was a demon worshiper. And he did mess with demons and all that. That's kind of where they got the character for Supernatural. To make the leader of the demons, well, Aleister Crowley.
And you will discover that this man who you remember vaguely as you're going, Mussolini, like the fascist one that was dragged in the streets after a war. Yeah, that Mussolini.
Yeah.
Okay. Found out about this religion that was being practiced. Learned that they had a sexual ritual, again, attempting to summon demons via egregious sex acts. Okay, Aleister Crowley was bisexual. They would have these nights of sex to summon demons. And on this one particular night in Italy, someone died. When Mussolini found out, he kicked Aleister Crowley out of the country. And you know what happened thereafter? He went to go stay at his friend's house. His friend's house in France. Of course, it's always in France. And who were his friends that were staying in France at that time? No other than Barbara Bush, Bush's parents.
Wait, yeah, really?
That Barbara Bush, like a President George W. Bush, George H.W. Bush's wife, Barbara Bush, her parents allowed Aleister Crowley to stay at his house. Aleister Crowley was...
what? The Bushes allowed a Satanist to stay at the crib, bro. And these are the people that ended up running our country later. Let a whole, demon worshiper stay at their crib for the weekend. That's crazy.
Welcomed by the elites. Okay. He was a friend of all the elites in America. He deemed Jack Parsons to be his protege in America. And Jack Parsons was participating in satanic rituals and satanic chants as they established the Apollo program. How are you feeling about the moon landing today? Those of you that are reading all these, Candace is crazy. Yeah, because I'm telling you the truth and I am showing you where you can go look for it. These are simple Google searches.
Man, these are interesting things about France as well. Well, France has a consent age of, 15. Goddamn. Ain't that crazy?
Okay.
And they were the ones I was also riding, I believe, a year or two ago. So, yeah, France has been on a very, it's been on an economic decline, a social decline. There's something going on in France that needs to be studied a little bit further. And I believe if we study it further, we'll figure out the problem. But
the elites like Satan. Now, I had Dave Smith on my show the other day. You guys know Dave Smith. He's wonderful, absolutely wonderful libertarian. I would say he's leading the libertarian movement. And he said to me, we were speaking about this, that episode will be released next week because I'll be away. And he said to me, it is some...
Here's something crazy. Appreciate you, friends. But he said, Bush Sr. Yeah, Bush Sr. was director of the CIA. So y'all can look that up as well. It's kind of crazy how it all lines up.
When you look at how many times these sexual rituals have been exposed throughout history, that there are still people that don't realize, the people who are insisting that the population become atheist very clearly believe in God, okay? They're throwing rituals to counter God, okay? They are trying to bring the devil forward. In fact, Jack Parsons said that he did meet Satan. He met Satan. I think it's called the Devil's Canyon. You guys can help me out in the live chat here.
Devil's Canyon, the Crossroad. Yeah, there's somewhere you go to meet some entity that gives you deals.
In California, there's something called the Devil's Canyon. Everything that's named strangely, all of these devil and satanic names out there along Arizona and California. Yeah, well, he said that he actually met the devil. And thereafter, the Apollo program was formed after he tried to use his sexual ritual magic, as Aleister Crowley referred to it as, ritual magic, to summon a woman to become pregnant, okay? And he wanted to refer to that child as a moon child. And would you guys know that thereafter, we allegedly went to the moon? I don't know, guys. It's all feeling a bit weird that these satanic people have garnered so much control in our government, that these people who worship sex, these people that are...
Yes. NASA was started by a Satanist. Yeah, I know, right? Crazy. But, hey, man, we need them rockets.
Part of a sex cult who believe in Satan, and not just believe in him, worship Satan. And yet you have people that are still asleep at the wheel who don't realize this. They're just like, no, I don't know. If it's not rational enough, I can't believe that there's a God. I can't believe it. But I believe in government. I believe in the people that believe in Satan. That's kind of what you're saying at this point. I just want you to know that. At this point, that is where we are at. Now, I do want to get to some of these responses to this. Bishop Barron actually did a really good job explaining exactly what was happening in this ceremony. So I do want to cut to a clip of that before I tell you what the Archbishop came out and said. Take a listen.
This is Bishop Barron. You know, just a few days ago, I was in Indianapolis for the marvelous celebration of the Eucharistic Congress.
All right. But let's get to the other story I want to get into that she covered.
Paths. Yes, I recognize people shot a president, a Catholic president, in broad daylight when he was with his wife. Okay, that's all very real. But what is the alternative to that? You stay quiet when we know the truth. We stay quiet and we allow these people to take over the world, which they are very close to doing. We pass this off to our children. Like Andrew said, it is going to take not just brave men, but it's also going to take brave women. And women, you know how to research, and I'm going to give all of you guys the tools to...
Yep, some of y'all women gonna have to start going against the women of the woke mafia. Actually, the woke mafia is comprised of women. So if anybody can fight them, it's the brave women who gonna stand up and stand on business and be like, yeah, we're not dealing with y'all women no more. It's like, yeah, y'all pushing that gay stuff, keep that over there. That's cool. You do what you do, we're happy, but keep it over there. Stop trying to recruit the straight girls onto y'all side.
To understand what is happening, okay? All of the faiths, Muslim, okay? If we're talking about Islam, we're talking about Judaism, we are talking about Christianity, have been infiltrated. All of them. There is not one of them that has not been infiltrated by a satanic cult that practices pedophilia, okay? Listen to me, as a religious sacrament. I am going to tell you what the name of this satanic cult is, so that you can now do your own research. Now, I will caution you that you cannot, with this particular name, trust Wikipedia as a source, because it's hiding in plain sight. But they have virtually wiped his name from the internet, despite the fact that he has garnered so much power that I am going to show you that a Supreme Court justice who openly worshipped this religion, okay? So again, they've infiltrated religions. They have infiltrated all of them, okay? This ends when Jews and Muslims and Christians come together and root out the Satanists. His name was Jacob Frank, okay? That is what you are going to look up. His name was Jacob Frank. Now, his birth name was actually Jacob Ben Leibowitz, and he was born in modern Ukraine. You will find that a lot of these Frankists, because that's what they are, that's what they call themselves, are out of modern Ukraine. He was born in Podolia, and it...
Yeah, and they say Frankism was a Jewish religion movement that emerged in the 18th century and flourished in the second half of the century. It was centered around Jacob Frank, who claimed to be the Jewish Messiah and the reincarnation of the messianic soul, whatever. Frankism was rooted in, well, Sabbatheism and was inspired by the Jewish Kabbalah and Catholic Martinian mysticism. Oh, weird. So Catholic and mysticism. Okay. Frankism outwardly followed by the legal side of Judaism known as the Hakala, but secretly believed it was essential to disobey the law. Frank rejected religious norms and encouraged his followers to transgress moral boundaries. Okay. Sometimes participating in orgies that disregarded sexual, well, prohibitions. So he didn't care if it was right or wrong. He just got to it.
At that time, you would say that it was, you could also say Poland, Ukraine, the Polish Ukraine region is where the Frankist cult took off. Okay. Now before him, there was a man named Sabbatai Zevi. It's called like Sabbatianism. You can look all of this up. I promise you on my locals page, I will provide you direct links so you can.
And YouTube, man, that was given me by Google. Come on now, chill.
Learn all of this so that you know which links you need to read, what books you need to buy to learn the fact, an established fact that these pedophiles are in power. Okay. Now, I learned about this quite accidentally, by the way. I didn't mean to learn about this. I was so shocked. I was coming apart when I learned that Sigmund Freud created psychoanalysis to protect pedophiles. I thought, how could this be? How could Sigmund Freud do this? How could the world not be speaking about this? A guy who worked at the archives, learned German, read his notes, and discovered, this Harvard guy, that he was protecting pedophiles, that psychoanalysis was created as a means to convince rape victims who said, my dad raped me when I was a child, these women that were coming in to see him, that they were crazy. Gaslighting them. No, actually, you're just attracted to your dad. That is the origin story of Sigmund Freud. And I landed upon a book. I believe the book was written, and you can look this up, Skylar. Is it David Bacon?
Hey, that's crazy gaslighting. Like, bro, so a girl comes to you like, my dad molested me. He's like, no, young lady, you just attracted to your dad. It's like, bro, you for real? That's how bro was getting off? Okay.
I'm going to look this up, guys. So mind the typing here because I want to make sure I give you this exact book because I was interested in Freud. Let's see what this is called. I think it is David Bacon. I think I got that right. Yes, it's called Sigmund Freud and the Jewish Mystical Tradition. Okay. What? David Bacon is, I'm pretty sure he is a historian. I think he worked at Columbia, but I'm going to look this up for you guys right here. Okay. He was a major influence in how the field of psychology implemented the use of statistics, blah, blah, blah. He went to Brooklyn College. He went to Ohio State University. He taught at University of Chicago, Ohio State, Harvard, York University, and he got quite interested in the Jewish mystical tradition and learned that psychoanalytic concepts actually derived from Kabbalah, okay? It is utterly absurd to suggest that the people who...
Oh, yeah, Kabbalah, the Cabal. Yeah, I know. It all lines up now.
Worship, who deem the Torah to be their holy book, are all worshiping the Kabbalah, the Zohar. What he discovered in his work, right, and when you read that book, you will see this, was that Sigmund Freud was a Kabbalist, and he starts speaking at length about this great Jewish schism that happened when a bunch of Jewish people believed that Jacob Frank was their Messiah. Until they realized, and actually Jews were the first one who expelled the Frankists. They said, get the heck out of here, what are you doing? After they had a sexual ritual, they were actually expelled from the region. They realized, what the heck is this? And at that moment, what the Frankists did was there was a mass conversion because they taught this as a religious rite. You have to deceive and you have to infiltrate. They converted into the Catholic faith.
What?
Okay. Not all of them, but some.
Whoa. So you told me they're chameleon races? Like, okay.
Them converted into the Catholic faith, and you will see down the line as you study this that some of them converted back and some of them went to Christians. And
now, I know this may sound like an excuse for the Catholics, but, you know, let's hear her out. Because maybe some of these priests weren't really, Catholic.
That they encouraged over and over again for them to essentially deceive the world through mass conversions. Now, Jacob Frank had a daughter named Ava Frank, and let me tell you how disgusting this Frankist religion is. Okay. He had sex with her, was incestuous, openly incestuous, of course, because this is what their sexual rituals were all about, and he deemed her essentially to be the unholy Mary. Now, how powerful was Jacob Frank? Well, the rumors, which I have not been able to find an actual fact on this, is that he was sponsored by the Rothschilds. Now, again, that's a rumor. What I can tell you is he definitely had a lot of money because he purchased a castle in Offenbach, Germany. Jacob Frank had a castle. Him and his daughter lived in this castle, and people that were Frankists came to them. They worshipped them. They made sacrifices to them. And of course, they had sexual rituals. This is all, I'm telling you, all of this stuff, it should be blowing your mind. And unbelievably, it's all true. Okay? Now, to my French people wondering what...
You know, it's crazy. I know a little bit of something about these rituals. I kind of read up on them. Because it's meant to bring you down to your lowest form. So it's pretty much due to do degrading things because these people don't feel good doing it. Or these women don't feel good doing it. And when you live in such a low vibration or a low state of emotion or a low state of energy, these are how these dark entities can enter you. Is just by being on a low vibration. That's why I always preach positivity and keeping yourself positive and keeping yourself up there. Because when you're always a sad sack or you're living on low vibration, you allow these dark entities to enter your being. And that's what you don't want to do. Now, this is just spiritual advice, I know. Before you try to hit me with the, oh, you're an occultist. No, I just studied it. And hey, I'm gonna be real with you. It makes sense. And it's a pretty good, pitch to stay positive. Like, come on now, stay positive. Don't let the evil entities enter your being.
What the hell happened to your nation? Well, the French Revolution happened to your nation. How did that happen to your nation? Well, the Frankists, during this conversion, and you can look this up, one of the names that Jacob Frank went under because they taught each other to continually keep changing your names, was a man named Moses de Bruschka. He was Jacob Frank's cousin. He was one of the leaders of the French Revolution. So the Frankists went down to France and they went to overthrow it in a revolution because ultimately they believed that they would inherit the earth through deception, through deceptive means and a ton of sexual rituals along the way, which they believed gave them power. Now, America, if you're thinking, okay, well, Candace, that may have happened in the 1700s, but there's no way that there are Frankists in America. Well, I'm going to ask you something right now. Pivot your browser. Open up your browser, and I want you to look up the first, and again, I'm doing air quotations here, Jewish Supreme Court Justice. The first Jewish. He's not Jewish. He doesn't worship the Torah. I'll tell you what he worships when you look up. His name is Louis Brandeis. You guys know him because you're thinking Brandeis University. I've heard of that. Well, it's a very powerful family. We had a Supreme Court justice named Louis Brandeis. And then as you scroll through his Wikipedia, you're going to learn that he kept a photo of Ava Frank on his desk, the unholy, the non-virgin Ava Frank, who from this castle had sexual rituals, incest with her father, who had people bringing her gifts, that the Brandeis family were committed Frankists. They believed in pedophilia. They believed in this as a sacrament, okay? They believed in blood rituals on holidays. They believed that you had to sacrifice people. All of this is in the books, okay? They believed people died in this castle. Blood ritual sacrifice. And this is not libelous.
God damn, yeah, she ain't lying, bro. So he was the son of a Jewish immigrant and he was born and raised in Louisville, Kentucky. With his father, who was a successful grain merchant. Yeah, probably wasn't too forgiving on them prices, I bet.
So you can spare me, this is blood libel. Because again, these people are no more Jews than they are Christians. There is an elite cabal. And the way that they have done this has been absolutely stunning, okay? It's amazing. They've done it through deception. They have convinced a bunch of well-meaning Jews that I grew up with, that you grew up with, the people that we know, of course, are not engaging on Passover in blood sacrifices and things of that nature. They have deluded them into protecting the Frankists when the Frankists get caught. Because they go, oh my God, look, they're saying that a Jewish person did this, anti-Semitism. And then well-meaning Jews who have nothing to do with the Frankists raise up and they protect these people who are pedophiles. What is the ADL? Who is Leo Frank? Leo Frank, why the ADL was established, is a person...
Ironic that his first name is Frank, by the way.
Who on Passover murdered and raped a Catholic girl. He got caught.
Oh, okay? My God!
He was found guilty despite having more money than God for that day, given who he was married to. He was found guilty because the evidence was that overwhelming. Despite trying to pin it on a black janitor who worked at the factory. It was his factory where he raped this 13-year-old girl on Passover, as is required of Frankus, by the way. Again, we're talking about a fringe cult of psychopaths that have nothing to do other than hiding and deceiving people to believe that
They gotta grape somebody on Passover? It's crazy. So you tell me, yeah, I'm not following my religion, you know, if I don't defile some young lady on Passover is wild.
they're Jewish, or to believe that they're Christian, or to believe that they're Muslim, because they exist as well in the Muslim faith, okay? They have nothing to do with any of these religions. None of them. None of them. These are satanic psychopaths. And Leo Frank murdered